Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We're right here one more again with the one and only Music Marvels music show with Achickwitbeatz, the music producer, and myself, Breezy Gipson. So we're glad to be here on this day. We're really happy about what's going on in the music world. So, hey, get ready, holler out the room, text people, whatever you got to do, email them. Tell them on Instagram, we're here and we're live and living color. What's up? How you doing, Chick?
I am feeling great. I love this time of the week. And, I'm just excited to do what we always do, right?
Oh, yeah. It's like the seasons change, so we're in a different season right now. Weather changes. We're in different weather right now. So, hey, we just got to go with the flow.
Absolutely. So, all right, what we got on the agenda for you is Ashton Martin, the interview with him coming up. And, I'm excited about that. We got some music industry news for you. And, of course, beats by yours truly.
Oh, man. What more can you ask for in this store? Because there's entertainment, there's excitement, there's information on the intelligence line. So it's all good.
All right, let's go. thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We are so excited to let you know that we have Ashton Martin in the virtual building with us. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm alive, so I'm good.
Heard that. So why don't you give us a little bit of rundown? Who is Ashton Martin? You know, what drew you into music? When did you start? And just let us know, you know, what kind of shaped you musically.
And so I am Ashton Martin. Ashton is literally my name that was given to me at birth. Martin stands for motivating all relevant to inspire nations. I've kind of been around music my whole life. Like, I was raised around some great artists. My dad was a choir director and a songwriter. My grandmother was a singer. My auntie was a singer. So that part of music always been around. But as far as like rap itself, I kind of find it in like the older cousins and like some of the big homies that used to rap around me. And you know, it just started off as a kid, just looking up to them like, yo, that's cool. I think I want to do that. And then like kind of giving my hand at it and being praised. That's like the younger guy. That's like, oh man, this kid before his time in my hometown. And then like actually taking it seriously as a career and finding my niche in it and realizing the impact that we as artists have. And you know, that kind of drove my purpose with music and made me really go full force with it.
That's really heavy. I dig that, and I can respect that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you know, I got the chance to check out your music. I think your flow is really nice. Your style. Could you tell us? Well, I know you had mentioned like your older cousins and stuff influenced you, and I've actually experienced that myself as well. But you know, as far as famous people, you know, ahead of you, like who would you say probably shaped your style the most?
I think it comes from kind of two variations. I think, of course, the background as far as like I said before, that music background with, you know, being in like the church environment that has a hand to play in it. I'm being from Florida. I'm influenced by like artists from Florida, like, you know, Ace Hood and Trick Daddy and, you know, the people that actually came up out of Florida, T-Pain. Those play big influences. But as far as like his hip hop itself, of course, you got like the usual suspects like Pop, Nas, but I think I always kept my eyes more on the underground scene, so I paid attention to a lot of independent artists, and I think that's what really, like, when it comes to like inspiration, that's what really kind of like drove my inspiration, is watching underground artists.
That's awesome. You know, one of my favorite phrases is "Indie's where it's at."
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah. I know Breezy's burning with some questions for you over there.
Well, it's like this, you know, in my opinion, and only in my opinion, a lot of times the mainstream folks, you know, they've been shaped, they've been directed, they've been shown which direction that somebody else wants them to go. Mm-hmm. They've been shown how to wear their hair, this, that, the other, what clothing to wear, let alone the different ingredients in their music. Okay, so the indie folks have not been exposed to that. Okay, so they're more true to the heart. And, you know, so for you to say what you said, you know, that's really like that's very magnetic, because it's the real sound, it's the real folks, it's the real music without being told what to do. So if that's where you come from, then I'm all in.
Agreed.
Yeah, and you know, that's also really cool too, because sometimes, you know, a lot of people feel like in this type of environment, and since there's so many independent artists, sometimes they get kind of competitive and don't necessarily want to show support or listen to other independent artists. So, you know, hats off to you for keeping the culture alive and supporting everyone.
Yeah, for sure. I've always been a person like I'm very transparent. It's funny because people look at me like as a mysterious guy. I think that has something to do with like my introvertedness, but I'm very transparent for real. Like, so if I rock with something or I like it, I'm gonna tell you that I like it. I'm not gonna hold it back and be like, oh man, because he might get one up on me. Like, nah, if you dope, I rock with you. Like, you know, because I know what it takes.
Yeah. And so, well, speaking of that, what would you say has been one of the most valuable things that you've learned since you know, became an independent artist?
I think the most valuable thing that I've learned is really to be true to yourself, no matter what. And because I feel like that helps you as well as artistry, as well as business wise too, because it keeps you out of a lot of pitfalls. You know, just knowing what's for you and knowing who you are as a person. You kind of got an internal compass inside of you, and so you know what direction. It's not easy for you just to be pulled and strung along like it would be somebody else, you know. And I think that's the biggest thing, just being true to yourself. Like, I think you can never go wrong with that.
Well said. And okay, so first things first, I shouldn't say first things first, but before we go any further, could you let everyone know what you just released yesterday?
Yes. So my new single, Growth 4, has just released. It's the first single off my EP set to release March 12th. And I'm excited about this. I love this song. I had a lot of my peers review and listen to it, and it's always been positive feedback. So I'm excited to see how you guys feel about it. And you get to know a little bit about me, even on this one song.
That's awesome. And just let everyone know exactly where they can get it.
Yeah, you can find it on all streaming platforms. Anywhere that you listen to music, you can find it. And if you just, for some reason, just want to find it directly, you can hit me up on all social platforms. It's Ashton Martin. And in any links that I have, it's there. It's right there. So.
Amazing. Breezy?
Well, you know, that you're bringing a fresh bucket of rain in the house today. Okay, meaning that you've got a clean type of approach. Your personality is very warm. You are coming across like you're very intelligent as far as what you're doing. Okay, so that's a clean bucket of water, and we love that. Okay, we don't want that bucket that is detergent down. Okay, or got all other kind of harmful ingredients in there and all that kind of stuff. So my hat's off to you for what I'm hearing so far, you know, and I'm like, hey, we gotta hear more. Okay, so let me sit back in my chair.
Thank you. That means a lot, for sure.
Yeah, so, you know, you've mentioned, you know, about being true to yourself and, you know, what you actually represent. For artists out there that are having a little bit of a hard time defining what they represent, and, you know, maybe they need that extra push to be themselves, do you have any advice for them?
Don't be afraid to. I think that's the biggest thing. I hear a lot of artists, even artists like you said, that kind of have the detergent, watered down feel to them. They'll often hit me behind the scenes and be like, bro, I really want to do this. I really want to be like this, but I just don't know, you know, how to do it. And I always relate to them. I'm like, if you look at every artist that did something impactful in the industry and in the culture, usually it wasn't something that was forced. It was something that they were just literally doing what was natural to them. That was like just them giving their story, because I'm like, no matter what, when you tell your story, granted, everybody may not be able to relate to it, but there are people that's going to relate. There's people they just don't say it, but it's kind of like you're thinking for them. They like, you will say something, it's like, man, I think that same thing. I say that same thing. That's exactly what I experienced. And even so, if not that, people are going to feel the energy from it. They're going to know, like, people know when it's authentic. They feel it. It's like, oh yeah, I don't necessarily relate to his story, but I like his energy, like the way he's bringing it.
Right. That's so true. Because, you know, just as a fan, you know, it's something, you know, very refreshing about that, and just getting like that raw energy. So, you know, before you sit down to create, you know, whether you put pen to pad or whatever you do, what's your main mode to kind of get you to where you're willing to just share your experiences so freely and, you know, with a great cadence, I might add?
Thank you so much. I'm kind of awkward when it comes to my process, because it's like no direct way that I do it. Sometimes it can take me like a week or two to write something. Sometimes I can automatically sit down and just flows, like it just comes just out of nowhere. But I think I always think about what I'm trying to say and how I want to say it, because I feel like in music, those are the two, rap specifically, those are the two most important things, like what you want to say and how you want to say it. So, you know, that goes back to like lyrics and flow and delivery and stuff like that. And I keep that in mind while I'm writing, but at the same time, not getting so focused on that you kind of like, you know, just it's nothing like that natural initial energy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't ever want to like take that away. I always tell people I don't force anything. That's like my big thing. I never force it. If it feels like it's forced, then I'll stop it, you know, and come back to it, or just stop it in general. So I think that's like my biggest things when it comes to like creating.
Yeah, that's a great rule to have too, because anytime that you try to force your pen, man, like it can be felt, it can be heard. So yeah. So, all right. So everybody has been affected by the pandemic. How would you say that it's affected you music-wise? Like, you know, did you do a lot of shows beforehand, or, you know, have you just focused on writing more and creating more? Like, how has it affected you personally?
Yeah, so it's crazy. I can tell you exactly what was going on when the pandemic hit and what I had planned. So, before, like, it's 2020. So in 2019, I had released a project. It was like really my first project that was like on all platforms, all original work. And I actually toured for that project, and it's the first time I ever went international. So we actually went to the Netherlands at the New School, we went to France, Madame, and we went to Toronto and Winnipeg, and of course some of the circuit areas as well. And off of that, I had built so much of a network that for the following 2020, that summer was supposed to be like even like to the next level pretty much, because like some of the festivals that I just was, you know, a part of, like I had actually came back and they were offering like a headliner, like we're gonna actually have you headline some events and things like that. And then you know, COVID hit. So all of that was done. It was like, nah, yeah, so long for that. So it definitely affected me psychologically, because it's like, you know, when you're excited about all these things and you know you're trying to build yourself up on the independent level, it's like, okay, I'm finally getting some traction going, and then it's like that happened. Now it's like, oh man, what am I gonna do now? You know, so I took some time to kind of just sit back and like really just pay attention to what was going on around me and in the world. And I think that's the biggest thing, and one of the best things that happened is like it really made me kind of like get out of the emotions for a say, and like really just sit back and like really watch and pay attention. And like I had created, I dropped the EP in, I think it was around July. It was called Care Package, and I made it because just off of that, based off seeing what was going on around me, I felt like everybody was at war in some type of way. They was at war with themselves. It was, you know, we had society at war with itself. And I felt like, you know, like if anybody plays Call of Duty or plays anything like that, or you have some type of military experience, you know, like a care package is something that they drop to the soldiers in the field. And that was kind of like my way of kind of like giving that to them, you know, because I really, up until then, I really wasn't inspired. You know, I was just kind of just soaking in everything. And then I had people just hitting me up like, yo, you know, where it's at? Come on, you need something. Come on. I was just like, okay, I got you. And I was like, you know, me kind of giving that to my people.
Care package. Breezy, are you getting all this wonderful stuff you just dropped so casually in that quick minute?
You know, it's a monster, okay, and of positivity, okay, and so you know, I understand why folks are gravitating towards you, because, you know, just in conversation, you know, it's very matter of fact, okay, it is what it is. It's, you know, but you've got a certain listening factor that you're absorbing by watching others or seeing what scenario you're in, and you know, when you mix all that up, you know, you've got Ashton. Okay?
Yes, sir.
It's a really good thing, you know. So you know, I'm giving you more accolades. Keep doing what you're doing. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, you mentioned all the places that you went to in 2019. What was that like, going to, you know, international levels, like touring like that, and just kind of watching the people react to what you do?
Yeah, so like it's a lot of different feelings. So for one thing, it's a culture shock, you know, going to other people's culture, because it's like it's totally different. Like they don't have what I realized, is one thing that's over here that they don't have in a lot of other cultures is we have a lot of we're very standoffish. I'll just say it like that. Like, you know what I'm saying, it kind of takes a little breaking of the ice for people to kind of just warm up to you. Whereas in these cultures, they like automatically receptive to you. They like receive, and it's kind of weird. Like at the end with me, it's kind of weird for me because I'm kind of backing away where people kind of like gravitate. I'm like, oh, I'm not used to this. Like, and I don't know what's going on. So like in that sense, it was. But then like once I kind of said, oh, this is just how y'all are. Like, and I was like, okay, this is pretty dope. So I got over the culture shock. Being from where I'm from a small town. So like I'm from Marietta, Florida. It's a small town outside of Tallahassee. And I felt like that was the first time that I was kind of like champion in my hometown. Because where I'm from it's like it's a lot of hatred between artists specifically, you know, because it's just that crabs in a bucket type of mentality. People don't want to, they feel like if you get enough shine that takes away from them, or you make it, they can't make it, you know what I'm saying? And so it kind of holds all of us back because we're constantly pulling each other down. But I felt like that was the one time, like the first time that everybody back home was like, yeah, we rooting for you. Like we see, we got you full-heartedly, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that felt good as well, just kind of like being a hometown hero. And just, it was hard work. That was another thing too. I don't think people realize like that tour life is no joke. Like it's something serious. It's serious. Like you're not getting sleep. You're not you in uncomfortable positions. You know, you're constantly moving. Like it's no joke. It's real deal like work. So I commend all artists that, you know, that do that. So.
Like on the regular, like that.
Yeah, for real. Wild. Like that's their whole life. Man. That's crazy. Man.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. Now you mentioned that the pandemic had kind of thrown the plans off, but the fact that you had worked so hard and built that up to where they actually wanted you to be a headliner. Can you explain for us what that part felt like for you?
Oh man, that was amazing. That's kind of like, I'm going to these festivals and I'm looking. It's crazy because I knew some of the headliners. That was the crazy thing about it. And I'm like digging them up and like, man, that's awesome, bro. You like doing your thing. And I'm looking at them. And I'm looking at their name on the, and then like when we received that, it was like, whoa, it was kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like something that you watch and then it just kind of like, it just comes to you, you know, and that just goes to show me that like hard work and patience is real. Like, you know, you will get your chance. Just continue to work, you know, and that's just a testament. It just gives me fuel to go further with everything else. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And, you know, congratulations to you. So I know it may have thrown off your plans, but just to reach that point is an accomplishment in itself.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And so, you know, it's almost time for us to wrap this up. I know Breezy's got a question for you, but once again, if you could just kind of share your socials just in case somebody's tuning in late, where they can find you.
For sure. You can find me on all social platforms at It's Ashton Martin. That's It's Ashton Martin, all spelled correctly. Ashton is the H as the H in, so keep that in mind. It's Ashton Martin.
All right. Awesome. Breezy?
Yeah. Okay. See, now, you know, I'm very familiar with the Tallahassee area and region and so on and so forth. But so take a moment real quick to share with the listeners about the travel factor. Okay. So, you know, the weather and humidity around the Gulf is totally different than in Europe or other places or that you travel. Okay. So can you stress the importance of health when it comes to being on the road and taking care of?
Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. I think I got booted out. My bad. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. So being familiar with the region around Tallahassee and so forth, being close to the Gulf, can you stress to the listeners how important it is to take care of self, health-wise, when you're traveling to other regions to help prevent sickness or, you know, extra fatigue and things of that nature? So no matter what, health comes first, right?
Yes, for sure. Because you are the source, you know, like the show doesn't go on without you. You got to take care of yourself. I think that's like the most important thing. I'm big on self-care. I'm big on mental health as well, because I feel like that's not talked about in our community and as much as it needs to be. And it's definitely relevant because a lot of us hold a lot of things from our past, and you know, you have to like take care of yourself. in whatever way it is. Take care of your health, take care of your mental health.
Gotcha.
Excellent advice.
Okay.
Yeah, so before we head out for the night, if you could just let us know, like, if there's any lasting thoughts that you want the listeners to know about you, about your music, about just life in general. Now's a good time to share it.
For sure. Like I said, Growth 4 is out now. Just make sure you go and stream that. Stay tuned for the EP dropping in March. I should also have some visuals coming real soon. I'm not going to give that out just yet, but I got some visuals coming to the single as well. So, if you're rocking with the single, stay tuned for that. And, continue to follow me so you can, stay up on the updates. My biggest thing I always say to everybody, just no matter what, just be yourself, man. That's what God created. So, not doing that is doing a disservice to him. It's like slapping him in the face. So be that, you can't go wrong with that. Yes,
love it. So, we really thank you for coming on the show. We thank you for sharing your time, your energy, and your talent. And, we'd love to have you back again, maybe around the time the EP is about ready to drop.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with it.
All right. Awesome. We really appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys too for having me as well.
What an incredible interview. I really, really enjoyed having him on the show, and I can't wait to have him back again soon.
He's making a statement. I'm not talking about literally, I'm talking about figuratively. And that statement is that, there's power out there. Okay. And there's power, when a person finds a way to harness that power in a certain manner, and they can go a long way, Ken.
They sure can. So yeah, make sure that you check him out on social media, music platforms, and we'll have him back again soon. So all right, we're gonna dip into some more music, and then we'll be back with music industry news right after this.
All right.
are back. It is time for music industry news. One of the stories, well, you know what? I'll just say the theme for this past week has pretty much been mergers and acquisitions. So we've got companies going public. It's just a lot of business deals and stuff going on. So first off, Pro Music Rights is a Florida-based performing rights organization. They're going public. And so the way that they have this set up, it'll be 910 million shares for about a penny a piece, and that's going to be their Class A shares. So that's going to be open to the public. If you have interest in investing, then this is for you. Good information to have. So even though they're offering all these Class A shares, they also have Class B common stock, which will be retained by the founder and the CEO of Pro Music Rights. So he's still going to hold the majority voting rights, but every share actually does come with a right to vote. So if you're looking to invest in something that you're interested in, make sure you dig deep.
Okay, now you said, okay, you hear that, right?
Yeah.
So I got my pennies ready. Okay.
Love it. All right. Next up, too, is Warner Music Group just bought Roblox. So I know it might seem like a strange thing to do since Roblox is a popular kids gaming platform. You know, if you're a parent of a little one or, you know, a young one, you've probably heard of it, probably seen them playing it. But recently, in the past year during the pandemic, they've actually been hosting virtual concerts. So Lil Nas X had one, this pop star Ava Max had one. So, you know, it's not that strange that Warner Music is looking to kind of use that platform to help their artists out a little bit. And they're not the only ones, because Minecraft, Fortnite, TikTok, they've all been, you know, dipping into the virtual concerts since the pandemic started. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes of this.
Yeah, I heard that, and I'm gonna give Lil Nas X a shout too, because he made an appearance on The View yesterday, which, you know, The View is actually the number one rated morning TV conference show. Okay, so shout out to him. They gave him a pretty good little amount of time to do an interview. So hey,
yeah, that's awesome. Kudos to him. And again, like I said, mergers, acquisitions. Napster, which was still around, we mentioned this last year that they were going to be sold to Melody VR, which stands for virtual reality. So that sale was complete at the very end of the year, but they just made the official announcement this past week. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what's going on. A lot of possibilities, a lot of potential, you know, at least until we can get back to doing live shows more frequently, which rumor has it, a lot of people are expecting that to be, you know, the later part of the year. But, you know, at least there will be a lot of shows, a lot of opportunities to be able to catch some of these shows in these virtual realms now.
Hey, well, and the beat goes on.
Exactly. And speaking of beats, we'll get right to some, and we'll be back with more music industry news right after this.
Kick a flow one time.
And we're back. I mentioned it earlier, mergers, acquisitions. This is a little bit more focused on the acquisition, but we've been talking about Hypnosis Song Fund for what's felt like several weeks in a row, just because they've been buying up music catalogs left and right, and they're not done. They just recently purchased 50% of Neil Young's entire song catalog. So that's 1,180 compositions for about $150 million. Yeah, that's the same way I felt when I heard that as soon as that headline dropped. And they just bought 100% of Shakira's publishing catalog, spanning 145 songs. So, I said it last week and the week before. I'll say it this week. They are not playing around. If there's a catalog that's going to produce money, they've been snatching them up. And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And, they've got the money to do it. So they might be a topic in future weeks' episodes if they keep going at the rate that they are. And okay, this is in popular news, which you've probably already heard, but we'd be remiss to not mention it. Nicki Minaj settled with Tracy Chapman for $450,000 for the song that, according to Nicki, was accidentally leaked that contained the sample of Tracy Chapman's song. So, once the DJ got a hold of it and started playing it, then, it just caused a big stink. So they agreed to a figure, and that was that.
Yeah, well, stuff happens and things happen.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they come out with dollar bills on the back of them, so stuff happens.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to get back to some more music before we get ready to head out for the night.
Yep.
it is that time. We thank you so much for joining us. And you know what? It's just been a great time as always.
Mm-hmm. You know, what more can you ask for? You know, we're upbeat, you know, especially the info, that great guest, Ashton was doing it. I mean, hey, so you're doing it and the beats are doing it. So, hey, it's everything's copacetic.
Love it. Yes. And we'll be back to do it again next week. So make sure that you're here with us, same time, same place. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.